My father worked in a maximum security prison for 25 years, and he told me there was one word you never say inside those walls. Not because it's rude, but because it can get someone killed. So without wasting time, let's start. When my father first became a correctional officer, he thought authority came from uniform and rules. He learned quickly that prison runs on something else, an unspoken code. One inmate in particular tested him daily. Every round, same thing. Insults, personal attacks, the kind that go beyond anger. My father tried warnings, discipline, nothing worked. Frustrated, he asked a veteran officer, "How do I shut him down?" The older officer said quietly, "You don't fight him, you make him afraid." He explained the rule. In prison, there is one accusation worse than violence. One label that destroys protection instantly. Snitch. The next day, my father tried something. He walked up to the inmate's cell. The insult started immediately. Instead of reacting, my father calmly pulled out his notepad, looked across the block, pointed randomly, and said, "Oh, him?" He started writing. The change was instant. The inmate's voice disappeared. His face drained. He rushed to the bars, lowered his tone. "Please, don't do that. I'll stop. I promise." My father said from that day forward, the man never disrespected him again. Because inside prison walls, being labeled a snitch means losing protection. And in there, protection is survival. Lesson to learn now. My father always told me, outside prison, words are just words. Inside prison, words can change your life. It made me realize something. Every world has its own code. The question is, do you know the code where you live? The teacher who never yelled. A Reddit user shared this about his high school teacher. There was a class known for being impossible, loud, disrespectful, chaotic. Teachers lasted weeks before quitting. Then came Mr. Hale. He never raised his voice, never threatened detention. On the first day, he wrote one sentence on the board: "I don't compete for attention." And then he sat down. The class laughed, talked, ignored him. He didn't react. 10 minutes later, the room got quieter. 20 minutes later, almost silent. Eventually, someone asked, "Are we starting?" He looked up and said, "When you're ready." That class became the most disciplined group in the school. He later explained, control doesn't come from noise. It comes from presence. Lesson: the calmest person in the room often holds the most power. The job interview test: a hiring manager once posted this story online. He had 2 final candidates for one position, both qualified, both impressive. Instead of asking hard questions, he did something strange. He took them to lunch. During the meal, he intentionally dropped a fork. The first candidate kept talking. The second stopped mid-sentence, picked up the fork, and asked if he was okay. Guess who got the job? Later he explained, skills can be taught, awareness can't. Lesson: how you treat small moments says more than rehearsed answers ever will. The soldier and the boots. A former military sergeant shared this. During training, new recruits would often complain about strict boot inspections. One recruit asked, "Why do you care so much about something so small?" The sergeant responded, "In battle, small details keep you alive." Weeks later, during a real field exercise, that same recruit tripped because his laces were loose. Nothing serious happened, but he understood. Discipline in small things builds survival in big things. Lesson: the habits you ignore today become the mistakes you regret tomorrow. 4 different worlds: prison, school, work, military. 4 unspoken rules: reputation, presence, awareness, discipline. The question isn't whether rules exist. The question is, are you paying attention to them? Comment which story hit you the hardest: 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now the last important story, the man who never complained. A Reddit user once shared this about his grandfather. His grandfather worked construction for over 40 years, every day. Rain, snow, heat. He never complained, not once. When asked how he stayed positive, he would just smile and say, "Complaining doesn't build houses." One day, the grandson visited his grandfather's old job site. He noticed something strange. Every house on that street had perfect alignment. Every foundation level, every corner clean. The foreman told him something he never forgot. Your grandfather never rushed. He checked everything twice. That's why nothing here has cracks. Years later, when the grandson faced layoffs at his own job, he remembered that. He stopped complaining. He improved his skills. He double-checked his work. When cuts happened, he was the only one kept. Lesson: discipline doesn't look dramatic, but it builds foundations that don't crack under pressure. They blamed him. The whole class did. A phone was stolen. Everyone pointed at the quiet boy. He saw everything. He saw who actually took it. His best friend. Their eyes met. 1 second. His friend silently begged him not to speak. If he told the truth, he would lose his only friend. If he stayed silent, an innocent boy would be punished. He stayed silent. The quiet boy was suspended. That night, he couldn't sleep. Tell me honestly, was silence loyalty or cowardice?